Whenever I ask people what's holding them back from traveling to the places that they want, the answer usually boils down to one thing: money. But the truth is, you don't need to be rich to travel. You're just not taught about the different options that you have and how to travel on a budget. So in this video, I'll be taking you through how to travel for free and then how to travel for cheap. I'll go through some top tips and hacks so that you can travel without having to worry about money. You'll be surprised at how the simple tips and hacks at the end of this video can make a huge difference to your bank account. Let's get right into it. How to travel for free. First, let's talk about traveling for free. The best way to travel for free is to work in the city or country that you want to travel to. If you're not fussed about your career and are happy to work a job that covers your cost of living, here are some options to consider. Tour guide. If you're into history and don't mind talking to groups, this cash job with direct tips might be your perfect fit. Au pair. Become a live-in caregiver. Help out a host family with kids and some basic housekeeping. In return, you get a free room, board, and a bit of pocket money. This is great for learning a new language or immersing yourself in a different culture. Bartender. If you've got the skills, this is a job you can snag under the table if you're into that. If you're not into bartending, you can also consider starting as a dishwasher or busser. Hostel worker. Hostels always need help and turnover is high. This is great for meeting fellow travelers while settling into a new place. You might even start off as a volunteer to score a free room and avoid visa hassles. Some other options to consider are being a waitress, dive instructor, cruise ship worker, casino worker, yacht worker, yoga instructor, and pretty much anything that you can think of with the experience and qualifications that you have. I know working overseas might seem intimidating, but it's not. You don't need to have a ton of experience or fancy degrees. This most likely wouldn't be a career move, but you can do low-paying gigs just so that you can travel without committing to anything serious. But if you do want more of a career move or a better paying job that will require some certification, you can consider teaching English abroad. You don't need a PhD and you don't need to be a grammar genius. Just fluency in English and maybe a TFL degree, depending on the country you're eyeing. The world is screaming for English teachers and this gig is seriously in demand. In some places, they'll even foot the bill for your flight and throw in free rent while you're there. Having a college or university degree can beef up your earnings and open doors to better positions, but it's not a deal breaker for many countries. Now, here's the kicker. You can also teach online. As long as your Wi-Fi is strong, you can help folks learn English from literally anywhere in the world. In fact, if you're able to make consistent income online in pretty much any way, then you can travel without having to worry about money, so it's definitely something you should look into. So, working abroad is one of the best ways to travel for free. But if you're not interested in such a long-term plan, then here are some tips and hacks so you can travel for cheap. Tip 1. Get city tourist cards. If you're planning to travel around the city and see different landmarks, these cards are your golden ticket. Why? Because they shower you with discounts, even free access to the big-name attractions, museums, and a sweet bonus: free rides on public transport. I'm talking serious savings here. For example, with the London Pass, I saved over $100, and you can do this in Paris, Helsinki, and other cities. Swing by the local tourism office and they'll let you know which cards are up for grabs. They'll answer all your burning questions and make sure you squeeze every last drop of savings. Now, not every city has these gems, but most major hotspots do. If you're eyeing the iconic sites, these cards are your money-saving allies. Tip 2. Take advantage of the sharing economy. Why stick to the usual travel industry routine when sharing economy websites let you tap into the wisdom and assets of locals? These folks know where the real deals are, which supermarket won't burn a hole in your wallet, where the best sales are happening, and those hidden gems for mouth-watering food without breaking the bank. Want in on these secrets? Just chat with the locals. Save some bucks on your travels by taking advantage of the sharing economy. It's not just about cheaper stays, You can snag cool tour guides, hitch a ride with someone heading your way, and even savor home-cooked meals from local chefs. Websites like BlaBlaCar hook you up with rides for those medium to long hauls, mostly in Europe. If you're feeling hungry, check out Eat With, where local chefs dish out private meals. If you need to drive, RVA Share and Turo let you roll in rides rented directly from locals. And if you're cool with pet sitting, Trusted House Sitters links you up with locals offering free digs in exchange. These are just some examples of websites that will make it cheaper for you to travel, and I always recommend that you research some websites like these for wherever it is that you want to go. Tip 3. Get rail passes. If you're big on train travel, rail passes are the secret to keeping your budget intact. Take, for example, the Ural Pass in Europe or the JR Pass in Japan. These passes can be your golden ticket to cutting costs on your rail adventures. If you're hopping around the region for a bit, grabbing a rail pass is likely going to be way lighter on your wallet than snagging individual tickets for each trip. Now, if you're more of a spontaneous traveler and are more likely to take individual trips, booking ahead can chop off around 50% of the ticket cost. But here's the catch, you're stuck with a set timeline. It's not so flexible. That's where rail passes come in. They save you a ton of cash and let you ride the rails with the freedom to pick and choose when you want to roll. I've pocketed hundreds of dollars in Europe just by riding this money-saving train. Tip 4. Sleep in large dorms. Crashing in large hostel dorms is hands down the cheapest way to catch some shut-eye on your travels. If couch surfing isn't for you, this is the next best option to save some serious cash on your accommodation. Now here's the golden rule, the bigger the dorm, the lighter on your wallet. Sure, a 4 to 6 bed setup might give you a touch more privacy, but if you're all about that budget life, go with a 12 to 18 bed dorm. Trust me, those savings will pile up. Slap on some earplugs, throw on a sleeping mask, and go for the larger dorm. Your budget will thank you later. If you're the type who wakes up at a pin drop, scout those reviews before hitting the book button. No one wants to accidentally land in a party hostel when all they want is a good night's sleep. In big cities, you can usually sniff out a quieter hostel, even if it's not the party central or dead center in the action. But hey, you'll sleep like a champ. Tip 5. Cook your own meals. Here's a money-saving travel tip. Become your own chef on the road. Seriously, cooking your own meals is a game changer. For example, while I was in Iceland, I paid $70 for groceries for a whole week instead of shelling out around $20 per meal eating out. I saved at least a couple $100 this way, and you know how easy it can be to get carried away when you're eating at a restaurant abroad, so I probably saved a lot more. I've pulled the same trick in tons of countries, especially in pricey spots like Stockholm, where eating out can seriously drain your wallet. If you're crashing in hostels, you can snag a spot with a kitchen. And if you're planning to couch surf or Airbnb, chances are your host will have a kitchen too. This is something that I keep in mind when I'm looking for accommodation. But if you don't have access to a kitchen, no problem. You can toss some containers and cutlery in your bag and whip up sandwiches or salads on the fly. You might not do this for every meal, but it will definitely help you save some money. Just because you're jet setting doesn't mean you have to hit up restaurants for every meal. Skipping a meal out won't ruin your experience, promise. There's just no need to blow loads of cash on food when you're out and about. Cook your own, save big, and make that travel budget go the extra mile. I hope this video helps you travel without breaking the bank. If you liked this, I'd appreciate if you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more travel tips and inspiration.